Well, it is a Saturday evening, and lately I seem to leave everything to the last minute for my Sunday morning videos. The video you're about to see is a replacement for one that I started to make earlier this week and couldn't finish because I was unwell. And I'm feeling much better today. I'm getting there, but anyway, what I realized was that I have already done a similar video to the one you're about to see about this time last year. So this one has some of the same information, but some additional and a little more detailed information too. It is what it is. The next few weeks should be a lot more interesting because I'll be starting to travel up to the interior of BC and I will be taking you with me. So stay tuned for that. My name is Zia and I make videos about full-time nomad life in my shuttle bus. Today I want to talk to you about illness as a nomad, or just illness as a traveler. Part of the reason I want to talk about that is because of the events that occurred over the last couple of days for me. Everything's fine. Everything's fine, I hope. Of course, everybody knows that you need to have a first aid kit on board. And I do, with all the standard gauze and bandages and painkillers and muscle pain rubs and things like that. But what do you do if you become ill or you have an accident? And especially if you are solo. 2 nights ago, I had a really bad night's sleep. I started to feel unwell. And yesterday morning, I woke up and I really didn't feel good. I'd had a bad headache all night. I was a little bit lightheaded, a little bit queasy stomach. And I thought, oh my goodness, am I coming down with something? Because I haven't been sick for probably 4 years. So I thought maybe, things are on the rise again and people are out and about and closer together than we used to be a few years ago. But I had made plans to go to the local library. So I headed that way. I got up, I got dressed. I went over to the local mall where the library is. I went into McDonald's and had a coffee. And still really wasn't feeling good. But I finished my coffee and I headed across to the library. And I had only been sitting there for probably maybe 20 minutes. And I felt like I really needed to lie down. I didn't feel like I was going to black out. I've had those in the past. And they were never diagnosed. I didn't feel that bad, but I was feeling unwell enough that I wanted to get back to the bus, drive somewhere to find a shady spot, and lay on the bed. And so that's what I did. And I spent the afternoon just lying on the bed with the little fan above the bed on and just feeling unwell all day. To the point where I thought about either trying to drive myself to the hospital or maybe calling an ambulance. It gradually started to ease off, but it started me thinking about what precautions we can take to make sure that if we're somewhere, especially if we're traveling and we don't know the area, what precautions can we take to make sure that we are going to be okay, that we are going to, or at least be able to get help. I think one of the most important things is wherever you, I need a sip of my coffee. I think wherever you are, you either need to have handy, written down somewhere, your street location, either the intersection that you're near or which 100 block you're in on a particular street. You need to know what your license plate number is, so that if you don't have a vehicle that's easily identified, like mine is, I can just say look for a big shuttle bus with shuttle 17 on the side. But your license plate, if you don't know it, have that written down too. And if you're somewhere a little more remote, you need to have your GPS coordinates, and you can find those easily on Google Maps. If you find yourself on the map wherever you are and you drop a pin there, it will give you the coordinates, and then somebody would be able to locate you. I've mentioned in the past that one of the things I do in case I'm out of range of cell phone or Wi-Fi connection, I have a mini Garmin, which is a satellite communicator, and that will actually send my coordinates, if I hit the emergency button on it, to the nearest emergency rescue center, and help will be on the way. So I think those things are really important. Always know where you are. And again, if you're in a campground, know which campground you're in. What's the address, if there is an address for that campground, and what spot are you in? What campsite are you in? Have that handy as well. Another thing that I have, and that is my daughter has a tracker on me. So, you know, if she didn't hear from me or people hadn't heard from me for a while, she would be able to find my location that way. I think another really important thing you need to do is know where the nearest emergency room, hospital, clinic are in your area, wherever you're staying. Have your for example, I'm Canadian. If I'm traveling in the United States, I have travel insurance, medical emergency insurance, and make sure you have that handy so that if you do end up in a hospital, you've got all your medical cards or papers with you. I always keep my phone next to the bed at night, so that if anything happens, I can call 911 if I need to, or if I am in a city where I have family or friends, that I can easily call my loved ones. Always make sure that you have, before you travel anywhere, you have enough medications with you. And if you're traveling with pets, enough for your pets too, if they're on medications. When I did my cross-Canada trip a few years ago, I had planned on being gone for 6 months. And my little Charlie, who's no longer with me, was on phenobarbital for seizures. And it's a controlled substance, so I would only be able to get 1 prescription a month for him. They had to renew it every month. But when I explained the situation, they were able to give me enough medication to see him through. Because to go down to, you know, a place where the vets don't know him, they don't know his history, it might have been harder for me to get medication for him if I had run out. So always make sure you have enough medication to cover yourself and your pets while you're away. I think the last thing that I can think of, and please let me know if you've been in any situations where you were suddenly very ill or needed some sort of medical attention. If I've missed anything, let me know in the comments. And but the last thing I can think of, and I did this when I was in my van Luna, and I haven't done it in here, and after what happened yesterday, I'm definitely going to take care of that today, is I had an envelope or a piece of paper taped up where if you were receiving emergency medical attention, somebody would be able to see an envelope with all your information in it. Your age, your health issues, your emergency contact number, your medications, any precautions that need to be taken. For example, I have metal pins in my ears, so I can't have MRIs. The magnets, I don't know what that would do to the inside of my ear, but so have that kind of information written down too. And the other thing I did on that emergency contact sheet was I put down all of Charlie's information. The fact that he'd had a brain injury, that he was on medication for seizures, that he could be a little bit unpredictable sometimes. And I put down also his feeding schedule and those sorts of things, so that if I ended up in a hospital, or goodness, something worse than that, that somebody would know Charlie's history and his schedule and would know how to take care of him. And I think that's such an important thing. If you're not somewhere where you know someone who can take your pet while you recover or don't recover. Hopefully that's not the case. Yeah, so I think that last one is really important. I had it attached to my visor, but I think in here I would probably place it on the side of my microwave so that when somebody comes in the double bus doors, it's right there in front of them. They'll see it as they come up the stairs, emergency, in case of emergency. So, yeah, I don't know what I was going through yesterday. I wondered if it might be COVID. And I did have one of those rapid, what are they called? One of those rapid test packages. But when I pulled it out of my box that has all my medications and things in it, it expired a few months ago. So I'm just keeping my distance from people for a little while just to make sure. I had a headache all last night too. Now I do get headaches. I don't think I was in jeopardy of having a stroke or anything like that, but I'm just resting today, and I just thought it was really important to share some of this information with you. I'm in the final stages of preparation for our Boulder Women Weekend up in Summerland, BC. That's happening at the end of August, and I just want to let you know, had 2 late cancellations and was setting up a wait list. So if there's anybody who is interested in coming to our 3-day event, you can go to ireneharlow.com to the events page and find out the information there. Now the registration on the website has closed, so in the description below I will leave an email address where you can contact me if you're interested in coming to our event. So be sure and check that out, because we do have 2 spaces available. I do have a few ladies who expressed interest if there was any space that came available. So let me know. First come, first serve. And so I think I'm going to leave it here for today. I'm down at my local park at the mouth of the Fraser River. Oh my goodness, we've been getting so much debris from a landslide that happened in the interior of BC on the Chilcotin River. You might have heard about it. It came down right across the river and blocked the river, and the water built up behind it and then eventually breached the debris and started washing it downstream. And that led into the Fraser River, which runs on both sides of Richmond, where I live. And we are below sea level here, so I was a little concerned about the surge of water and debris. There was something like 2.5 million truckloads of debris that was heading down our way. And I saw quite a bit of it a couple of days ago, but we're all fine here. It didn't breach our dike system at all. We're a bit like Holland here. Please, if you haven't subscribed, do so. Hit the thumbs up button, share, comment. I appreciate anything you can do to help the channel. Treating myself to ice cream. Look at the sunset. Look at this pretty ice cream. Orange, lime, and grape. I've never had it before. They were out of the two flavors I wanted, but this is really refreshing. I was afraid it might be too sweet. Oh, it's packed down here still on this August 10th evening. There's a bit of a haze in the sky. I know it's smoke from the wildfires. But the park is absolutely full of people. It has been all day. I come down here first thing in the morning so I can get a good spot to park. And then I stay here until the sun sets, and then I move on to my sleeping space. And that's what I'll do in probably a couple of hours' time. Happy Sunday, everyone. Wherever you are in our beautiful, amazing world, I hope you're having a fabulous weekend, a fabulous day today. And I'm going to say bye-bye for now. I love you all, and I will see you next week.